attention for a second, please, guys and girls. Sorry. We're about to welcome the bridal party. Our first couple, Ben and Kelly. Followed by Scott and Monica. Our best man and maid of honour, Corey and Christina. And the most important couple here tonight, and the reason why we're here, can I introduce for the first time Mr. and Mrs. Brett and Mandy Simon. Everyone, if I could just grab your attention, please. We are getting into the speeches very soon. We are running slightly behind schedule, and I know that really kills Mandy. They say opposites attract. For those of you that know Brett pretty well, he's quite a laid-back kind of guy. Those of us that know Mandy, I think the word organised would come to mind. Mandy's obviously a school teacher as well, and she sent me an itinerary about 3 months ago with all her times and the run sheet basically of the night. And so what I'm going to do to Mandy tonight is actually I'm going to assess her as if she was the student. There's already been a couple of discrepancies that I'd like to address later on, but we'll just turn a blind eye. I introduced myself earlier. My name is Michael Marnovic. I was at school with Brett and all of the groomsmen and best man. I met Mandy through Andrew, her younger brother, and I'll get into that story a little bit later on. Technically speaking, I put Brett and Mandy together, so you guys are all welcome. We are going to head into speeches from the father of the groom and father of the bride, before we get the microphone to Scott. And before I introduce Brad, I just want to tell a quick story about Brad. The first time I met Brad, I was coaching an under-19 rugby team. I was 29 years old at the time, and Andrew was playing in our team. So, Andrew being Andrew, I had to go and pick him up to take him to the game. And I arrived at the Basin House in Cockle Bay and knocked on the door. I think Andrew was busy having a cup of tea, and introduced myself to Joe and to Brad, and Brad turns around and goes, "Oh, are you one of his teammates?" So I'm not too sure if that means that Andrew looks really old. We know he's a man-child, or whether I'm just quite young looking. So I've never forgotten that one, Brad, so thanks very much. Please put your hands together for Brad, the father of the bride.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm afraid I have a bit of bad news. After writing and rewriting, editing and re-editing multiple times, the shortest I can make this speech is 1 hour and 15 minutes. But hey, don't worry, I will just give you the highlights at this stage. Today is a special day. A day when we welcome Brett into our family. I'm overwhelmed by how many of you are here today to celebrate Mandy and Brett's marriage, with many of you travelling a great distance to be here. I want you to know how much Joe and I appreciate you being here to share in this special day with us. I have looked forward to this day for a long time. No, I was quite worried actually. This little magazine teacher, I thought, oh, she'll get a job down at Invercargill or blah. No, she gets a job at school just down the road from us. Then we get rid of her out of the house. and she buys a house 10 minutes from our place, so it's hard to get rid of her. But anyway, I think you will agree with me in saying that Mandy has made a stunning bride. We all know that she's a kind and wonderful girl, just as Brett is a good man who has already impressed us with his thoughtfulness and unshakable love for our daughter. I think they complement each other very well and will make a great partnership. Now, how did Mandy and Brett get together? Well, it wasn't on the computer dating games, I know that. Mandy was getting up there for a while. God, she got some dogs up there. Honestly, right. Suppose you must get the opposite going. Well, it was really up to Mandy's younger brother, Andrew. Now, Andrew played rugby in a rugby team that Brett used to manage, and Mandy would turn up each week to watch Andrew play. I think Joe and I were overseas somewhere. And Mandy would turn up in a pink gumboots and pink matching umbrella and walk up and down the line. And Andrew thought, yes, shoot, if I jam up my sister with the manager, I might get good game time. Andrew's pretty hopeless at rugby, wasn't he? So he thought, yeah, okay. Now, I'm not sure if it worked for Andrew, but however, it sure did for Mandy and Brett, and here we are today. Mandy, as you know, has grown up in a travel-oriented family. And, sorry Brett, very sorry, but she still likes to travel and turn left as she enters the area. You notice that? Yeah. She doesn't want to know. Well, this all began when Mandy was only 3, when we were living in Los Angeles on postings for 3 months at a time. And the company used to travel us in this style as the company commuted us to and from Los Angeles in first class. So Mandy got used to that. In fact, I can remember the first time we were travelling overseas on a family holiday, and that was, of course, that was economy. And as soon as we boarded the flight, Mandy just automatically turned left into first class and was promptly told by the flight attendant, "Wrong way, lady, you're down the back." Mandy was only 9 when she first accompanied me by herself on a work trip to Singapore. The flight was chocker, with not a spare seat in the cabin, so this meant Mandy was on the flight deck. So that she could get some sleep, it was a midnight departure, so it wasn't fairly late. So on the departure, I grabbed some blankets from the cabin and tucked all the manuals out, which next to my seat, all the aircraft manuals, and it made a seat beside, I made a bed beside my seat, making sure that when she lay down, her feet wouldn't get caught in the flight controls. And that was the start of Mandy's long relationship with Air New Zealand's live flat beds. I have many other fond memories of our trips together. Once in Fiji, we left Mandy and a friend by the pool. When we collected her later on, she told us she had fantastic fun drinking lemonades and cokes, and they were all free. You just have to give them your room number, Dad, she said. Yeah, right. Next morning there was a big bloody bar pool. Another time, we got ourselves stuck on a reef in an outrigger canoe off the coast of Tahiti. Remember that, Mandy? Anyway, it was a bit of an embarrassment, but we managed to get ourselves back eventually. Mandy got to see many West End shows, including her favourites, The Phantom of the Opera and Love Never Dies. And she had multiple opportunities to shop for bargains and find things not available at home. Consequently, she is now an A-grade shopper. Also, sorry about that. I think you'd be apologising a lot more. You've got to be married a couple of hours. On one trip, when Mandy was 16, I was having my pre-flight rest. I think it was about a 1 a.m. departure. And on waking, I couldn't find Mandy in the room to check. She was packed and ready to leave. Well, I was starting to panic, no Mandy in the room, so I was going to ring reception. However, there was a knock at the door, and Mandy appeared with my second officer on her arm to say they'd been out to dinner. Finally, on a trip to London from Hong Kong, Mandy had done a lot of this washing at the hotel, which hadn't had time to dry. So once we're on the cruise, I strung up this makeshift line. When the co-pilot returned to the cockpit from his rest, he got quite shocked. All he could see were Mandy's bras and G-strings. I carried all the time, actually. Mandy's got your G-string on the shoulder. It didn't really infringe our navigation or anything, so fortunately we made our way, it didn't take long to dry, and we managed to navigate our way across China and Russia without incident. Mandy, as you know, has chosen a teaching career, and this didn't surprise us at all. As a young child, she would round up her many dolls and soft toys and play sports. In her bedroom, the class would be sitting in straight rows in front of teacher Mandy. She would set them tests to do, writing the answers for them all, and then marking each test paper with ticks and crosses, finishing with a stamp if they deserved it, and a comment written in a little cloud bubble. I'm sure she had no discipline problems. That is until Andrew came along, when he became a student. I'm sure he wasn't as cooperative as the toys. Well, folks, that's the short version. Now, any of you want the long version, I'll be happy to give it to you later on in the bar. However, in the meanwhile, would you please now charge your glasses and join with me in wishing Mandy and Brett every happiness possible and a long and joyful life together as husband and wife. Mandy and Brett.
Thanks very much, Brad. There's actually far more to that story about Mandy and Brett meeting. I'll get into that a little bit later on. In order for Andrew to the starting team in our rugby team, there was far more for him to have to do than just set Mandy up with Brett. I'd like to introduce the father of the groom. So if you can put your hands together, please, for Paul.
Well, I'm not very good at this without a rum. I actually didn't realise I had to give a speech because I just thought I had to cruise through that it was up for the basics. Little did I know. I'm going to put my glasses on and get upstairs. Can't find them, man.
Where'd you get those glasses, boss?
Do I say
Very special.
very special glasses?
Speak up, mate. Can't hear you. Can't hear you, boss.
Well, I'll be pretty brief, to be honest. First of all, I'd like to reiterate what Brad said and say thank you all for coming and welcome you here tonight. It's a very special day for these guys, and it's really nice to have them here and for sharing their day, and especially to a number of Brett's friends who have come quite a way overseas. One has come from Hong Kong. There's another one who's heading to Dubai, come by here and put things back, and go look home and then get packed and to get up there, and in the States, and also in Australia. And they all wanted to be here to support Brett today, so I think that speaks volumes of you, Brett. When you make friends, they certainly from lifelong friends, either that or they want to get their own back on you. And to Mandy, on behalf of the Simon clan, I must add, I started writing this and my wife, Robin, and my daughter kept crossing everything out. I was going to have a bit of fun, but I was told it had to be very section. So you're getting the real good versions, man. Not the real version I wanted to give. And Mandy, on behalf of the Simon clan, it's really great to finally welcome you to the family officially. How lucky can a girl get? Long and hard about Mandy, and I thought, Jesus, this must be like winning the lotto. Probably the jackpot as well. Not only have you got Brett, but you got me as a There's one downside to that. I've now got another woman in the family to hospital. I would say though, Brett will need an awful amount of organising, which I think you've got well under control. Quite OCD really. But I think your organising is slightly better than the effort today with the bar. It does look really nice. For those that haven't seen it, there it is. But I would like to take this opportunity to give a heartfelt how nice you really do look, Mandy. You were stunning today. I was going to say you scrubbed up pretty well, but that got crossed out as well. So the word is you look fabulous. You truly are a credit to Brad and Joe, and they must be extremely proud of their little girl today. Absolutely wonderful. And Brett, you're a very lucky bugger. So I hope the pair of you enjoy one another's company for the rest of your lives. And like Brad said, if you charge your glasses again, but mine's over there, bugger again. And toast the bride and groom, Mandy and Brett.
Before I call on Scott to come and say a few words as well, just sort of a run sheet of what's going to happen after that. We'll have our entree served. We'll continue with a couple more speeches, including some of the actual bridal couple, after which we'll have our main served as well. So without further ado, please put your hands together for Scott.
Well, Brad, you guys are way better than I thought you were going to have. I said, Brad and Vaughan did very, very good. I had another comment that I was going to say, but I had to cross that off. So. Anyway, but when Mandy asked me to speak, or I guess agreed to let me speak, I thought about many stories that I could tell about Mandy that would embarrass her. So I've got a couple. The first, her spelling. So a lot of you probably actually heard the story, but her ability to spell is quite interesting for a teacher. For example, the word animal actually is spelled A-N, not A-N. When we went out to Brookmead for the Ag Day, we all looked around the room with a lot of, well, we actually looked very, very, very closely for school mistakes. And the alphabet actually has an additional letter, which is C, Mandy. So we found that, but anyway, she sorted that out quickly. But hey, look, in all seriousness, I had a few other stories that I was going to tell, but I was told I probably shouldn't. But Mandy, you're actually, you're an amazing woman, and I've had the privilege to get to know you over the last couple of years. In fact, we're best friends, so that upset me when you told everyone that he was your best friend. we actually have necklaces. We actually have necklaces that combine together. So, but hey, look, in all seriousness, Brett is one of my best mates. Probably one of the best mates I've ever asked for. He's always been there for me, and he's always been there for my wife, Christina. And I know I speak to a lot of people in this room when I say he brings out the best in me as an individual, and obviously the same. If you don't know, Brett and Mandy are the godparents of our beautiful daughter Delilah, and that just goes to show what amazing individuals they both are. And to see them become such an amazing couple over the last 30 months or so has been probably one of the greatest things that I've ever been able to be part of outside of my relationship with my beautiful wife Christina, who's over there. You'll get my point. So it really is such it's really such an honour to be part of this day with you both. I look forward to what the future brings. And so raise your glasses to Brandy, which is Brett and Mandy. So this momentous occasion marks the start of your life together. May the journey be a happy one filled with peace and harmony, joy and laughter, and romance and passion. May your love for each other grow with every passing day, and bring you happiness for years to come. Cheers.